Boom! What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larsen. Welcome back to Sales Funnel Radio, and I'm very excited for this episode. Today, I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about what we call Eustress. I've spent the last 4 years learning from the most brilliant marketers today. And now I've left my 9-to-5 to take the plunge and build my $1 million business. The real question is, how will I do it without VC funding or debt, completely from scratch? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my online business using only today's best internet sales funnels. My name is Steve Larsen, and welcome to Sales Funnel Radio. All right, now my friends, understand that I'm not saying you stress. The word actually comes from like euphoria. It's EU stress, okay? EUSTRESS, okay? Eustress, and what I want to do is actually pull up the definition here. I want to teach you guys this, okay? And there's something really important with this. This is something I'm noticing in some of my coaching. Eustress means beneficial stress. I just Googled this, okay? Eustress. Eustress means beneficial stress, either psychological, physical, biochemical, radiological. The term literally means good stress. And well, anyway, hey, so yeah, first of all, you like Russell's face on the back there. I did not make these, okay? Someone at Funnel Hacking Live handed these. I don't remember who, but someone handed me a huge sheet of these at Funnel Hacking Live. I am not printing Russell stickers. I'm putting them on things, just so you know. Hey, so Eustress though is very, very important. Okay, there's Eustress and there's de-stress, and it's something that I've talked about a little bit before on this show. What does that have to do with Sales Funnel Radio? A lot, because as I'm coaching and as I'm doing tons of stuff with people, I'm like, hey, do this next. Okay, there is stress that gets caused in the person's life as they take action and do the things for the first time, right? And if they're not normally an action taker and they're learning how to do those things, which is fine, okay, there is stress that happens in their life, but it's not de-stress, right? It is eustress. It's positive growth stress, the kind you would get from a gym. Here's the thing. About 2 years ago, now I'm gonna give a little shout out to my sister, Marie. She's awesome. She's getting married and in about a month. So by the time this episode goes out, she will have just gotten married. Okay. About 2 years ago, she was gonna go to Funnel Hacking Live, or she wanted to anyways, and she calls me. And she goes, Steven, she was a poor college student. She didn't have a business. This is before she was doing, any of the stuff that she is now. And she reached out and she goes, Steven, and we were chatting for a little bit. She goes, I have enough money to either buy a Funnel Hacking Live ticket and plane ride and hotel, or buy my groceries and pay my bills for the next month. She said, what should I do? And I was like, oh man, that's a big question right there. Like, whew, big brother moment. How do we say this? How do we talk about this here? I said, well, let me ask you a question. Okay. Now, your decision is your decision. It's not mine at all. But let's just weigh the options a little bit here. If you were to go and pay for your groceries and your bills, okay, for the next month, what is the likelihood that you will put yourself in a place of eustress and come up with the money to go to Funnel Hacking Live and or my own event, which was happening, okay? And actually, that was a little bit later. Anyway, so this is for her going to Funnel Hacking Live. And so what's the likelihood that you will put yourself in a place of positive pressure to figure out, right? And it's going to be pressure, right? It's going to be stress, good stress, but it will be stress though, right? To actually figure out how to go and get a ticket. She said, I probably won't. I said, I agree with you. You probably won't, right? Most human beings wouldn't, and that's okay, right? I said, if you were to go buy a Funnel Hacking Live ticket first with your event ticket and plane ride and all that stuff, what's the likelihood that you are not going to figure out how to eat and then you will die? I said, sounds crazy. She goes, I'm going to figure out how to live and eat. And I said, in my opinion, there's your answer, okay? If you know that it's good for you, if you know that it is the thing that's going to go and cause more success for you, like put your back against the wall voluntarily and do it that way. And that's exactly what she did. And she went and she bought a ticket to Funnel Hacking Live. And then she went and she bought a plane ticket and all that stuff. And anyways, and shortly after, like the next week, she started getting her first real clients and started doing work for people that paid for her bills. And I said, see, there's a principle behind that, okay? Things begin to conspire for your sake when you get clear on what you want, honesty in where you are, and you're willing to put yourself in situations that cause stress, okay? Good stress, the growth Eustress, okay? So this is what happened. So she gets to Funnel Hacking Live, and it was when we were selling the 2 Comma Club X event the first time, okay? And she gets there, and Russell does this pitch, and it's amazing. And there's a table rush, which those of you guys who were there, you saw that. That was crazy. Anyway, she's sitting there, and you know, I tell these stories with her permission, and but these are really powerful lessons, and most adults have not learned them. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to say here on this video, most of you guys are all killers and awesome and stuff I'm not saying you're not if you're not doing things. It's just a lot of adults haven't learned how to feel a little bit of positive pain, right? Not all pain's bad, right? Oh, I'm a little bit uncomfortable. The point is not to be comfortable all the time. Anyway, so anyways, we get to Funnel Hacking Live. Russell does his pitch, and I sit down, and she is chatting with somebody else. And what they're doing is they're saying, Stephen, this is what they said. I sat down, and it was in that stage, isn't that area of the event, that time of the event where there's nothing. It's just like 30 minutes after Russell's speech so that people can be purchasing and asking questions and such. But there's a countdown timer happening. Okay, there's literally on the screen, he had a countdown clock going for when the next speech would happen, and they would no longer let anybody else in. Because of that, people are standing up and running the back, right? They're making the decision right now. And so I sat down, and there's like 10 minutes left on the timer. And I sat down next to him, and she's chatting with somebody else, my sister is, and she goes, Stephen, what should I do? She said, what should we do? Here's what we want to do. Myself as well as somebody else, what we're going to do is we're going to put our money together, and we'll go in together under one account. So the events that are associated with 2 Comma Club X and these other things, we'll just rotate back and forth. And I said, you could do that, right? You could do that. I said, do you mind if I give my 2 cents here on this? She said, sure. I said, Marie, questions invite revelation. You guys have heard me say that on the show, but I said, questions invite revelation. Because you're asking the question, how can I get a discount, right? How can I do this but not as a full participating member, right? How can I do this right, not pay the full price? Because you asked that question, you got an answer. Okay. Now I believe that. I very much believe that phrase there. I don't remember. I think I learned that it's like 10 years ago anyway, questions invite revelation. Anyway, it's like a mentor leader that I had. Anyway, questions invite revelation. And I said, because you asked that question, you got the answer. I said, I dare you to ask a different question. I said, because rich people, the way that they do this, okay, I've sat down and I've watched many people physically with them who are wealthy, who want something that's more expensive than they were planning on, instead of saying, I don't know. What they do is they say yes, and then they figure out how to develop an asset that pays for it. And so what I told her, I said, what wealthy people do in a scenario like this is they sit back and they say to themselves, what can I develop in order to go pay for something expensive? I said, Marie, I challenge you to start asking the question, instead of how can I get a discount? You need to start asking the question, how can I afford the most expensive things and experiences this life has to offer? Okay, answer that question. Okay, go develop an asset that pays for your monthly membership of 2 Comma Club X. She was like, that's really intense. She's like, I have $76 in my bank account right now. And I was like, yeah, that's still the answer though. And I was like, seriously though, like think about it. Because if you're going to have like a 3-week period or whatever while they're getting everyone like actually onboarded into the program where you're not going to owe anything. That gives you 3 weeks to figure out how to pay. It was like $1,000 or something like that. I was like, can you figure that out if you go and just put yourself in a position of Eustress? And she said, I think so. I said, get your own account. Get your own account. So what she did is, and this is a big lesson for everybody, okay? Like, because the biggest thing I hear from people is, not the biggest, but one of the biggest external-based false beliefs I hear from people is, I would do this, but I'm just not in a financial place to do it right now. And I was like, man, that's like the reason that you do it. You do it so that you can go and put yourself in a place of pressure that causes you to learn and grow at rates you would not be willing to put yourself in otherwise, okay? Are you going to die if you go and get a program versus pay for some bills? Okay, now again, I'm not a financial advisor. Some of you guys might think this is really extreme. I don't care. This is literally how I've been able to go do the things I have so fast. Is I put myself in scenarios that I know I will figure out because there is not another option. And I voluntarily place myself and my back on corners, in corners, against walls, so that these scenarios happen. Okay, right? That's what she did. And she went out, and within a month, 2 months, she was cash flowing $10,000 a month with her own business. What I'm talking about, okay? I said, would you have gone and done all that stuff if you had a lot of money in your bank, right? I swear, one of the biggest problems people run into when they're starting any kind of entrepreneurship is that things are too cushy, okay? Get uncomfortable. I dare you to feel a little pain, okay? Case in point, leaving ClickFunnels with no product, no offer, no funnel, that's really intense. I don't recommend that, okay? But I did it because I knew I was experienced enough to figure it out. And I also did it because I knew I could not just like mess around, okay? Keeping this, okay, anyway. I could not mess around. I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. There is no way that I had any time, any mental capacity, no mental let out at all. I could not afford any distractions. I couldn't afford because the cost of me not doing it was so high, okay? And within a month, I had done 59 grand, okay? That's how I left. I'm trying to teach you guys like this principle, and it's something that I see over and over and over again with a lot of entrepreneurs that are out there that are existing entrepreneurs, but the people who are brand new, they hit against the rocks. I need to have all the resources, the time, money, and energy and support that I need before I start. Then you won't do it, okay? You will back out. You will find a way because it is stressful. It is uncomfortable. I do work far more than most of you probably realize, okay? With leverage. Actually, it's not as crazy now anymore. I work 7-8 hour day a lot of times now, which is awesome. It's because I got a team and I have leverage now. But when I was first starting out, right, everyone starts that way. Everyone puts themselves in. There's a few risks you'll probably have to take that are calculated. Don't take stupid risks. Take a calculated risk, have a mentor, do those, and then just move, right? You need to be able to get yourself in a place, in a position where you don't care that it is uncomfortable. You don't care that it doesn't feel good. You don't care that you're feeling a little bit of pain and discomfort from growth. You need to get yourself to that scenario. If you are not able to get yourself and back yourself against the wall, you're not going to do it. And you're going to wait for my next podcast episode because you need the next secret. I'm waiting for the next hack. You know them all, okay? You have so much more information than I ever had when I started this, okay? You have so much more. So please, when I'm telling you, again, this episode's not gonna be very long, but I'm trying to teach you this thing, okay? Understand, like, there are scenarios that life's gonna throw at each one of us that are unexpected, that make our backs go against the wall, and we will behave and perform in ways that we didn't know we could. But much better off is the individual who's willing to put themselves against the wall, who's willing to go and do things in their lives from a place of eustress, which is still stress, okay? And go do things that others are not willing to go do because they need all the ducks in a row and the moons must be aligned. I need all the answers. I don't know how to do the majority of the things that I have planned for the rest of this year, but I know I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. I'm not waiting for someone to come give me the answer. I will figure it out, okay? And then I will create a system around it, and I will create leverage, okay? And I will feel uncomfortable. Now, it's already happened like especially 3 specific times this year. It's like once a month. There's something where I'm just like, I really don't want to do that. And I'll say it. I'll say it to Colton. Like, dude, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this right now. And he'll laugh, and I'll laugh, and we use little bouncing ball chairs now, and I'll crank music, and I'll do something crazy. What I'm not a fan of is don't shun your feelings. Feel your feelings. But understand, like, take a moment to freak out. Take a moment to have a little poopy pants syndrome. That's okay. But understand also that you are not your feelings. I love that from Tony Robbins, that you are not, right? And you just have to sit back and be like, oh man, I need to go build this thing, right? There's like 2 or 3 specific things right now I legitimately am not looking forward to doing. I don't want to do it. They're the kinds of things that keep me up late because I'm like, I don't want to do it. What I'm supposed to do tomorrow, I don't want to do it. Okay? It's not about that. I'm not my feelings, right? Buck up, kid, right? So I'll look at myself and be like, let me feel this. Let me feel the emotion of feeling it. I'm not about shunning out, right? And becoming like this stone machine, right? No, I'm a human being and we are emotional. So let me feel the emotion. And then after I've given myself time to freak out or whatever, then I just move, right? I put myself against the wall. I mentally will do things. And this might sound weird and extreme, but whatever, like it works. It's clearly, okay? We've been cash flowing pretty hard for the last 8 months, but at the same rate. It's like 100 to 125 grand a month, every month for the last like 8-9 months. And so this past little bit, I've been sitting back and thinking about like crap, I'm still working, 7, 8, 9 hours a day. It's about leverage now, right? And that's the Eustress that I'm placing myself into. And there's parts of that about me growing and bringing on and scaling and starting to put out different systems, which is I've got 2 content teams and a funnel team and half of an admin team. There's a few other things I got to build out with it. So, I mean, I am doing it, but like I'm hitting the next phase of it and I feel it. And I personally am needing to grow in order to handle it. And I feel it and I'm hitting the wall and I know it. Okay. But I'm okay feeling it too. I'm okay experiencing that. And I'm just trying to bring awareness to whatever it is that's going on in your life. And you're like, Steven, I can't do it because of X, Y, and Z. Are you kidding? Right? That's when I go nuts on One Funnel Away. When someone's like, well, Steven, I just don't have all the answers needed. Are you kidding? Every single day. Welcome to entrepreneurship. Okay? I don't know a lot of the stuff on how to answer. I don't know how to answer a lot of the things that I'm supposed to be doing on Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday for me recording this. Okay? I don't know. Right? But I know I'll figure it out. And I'm willing to feel a little bit of discomfort on the way. But most human beings out there, a lot of adults especially, they're not willing to feel discomfort or go into a place, right? You guys remember the movie Finding Nemo? Very beginning of it. I got 3 little girls, okay? We watch a lot of movies like that now, which, by the way, Pixar's awesome. So, good storytelling, obviously. I like to look at it from that standpoint. But, like, those clownfish that, like, go out of the little home, then come back in. They go out of their home, then they come back in. And then they go check again, then they come back in. And most adults are like that, and they never go to a thing. I'm going to start out, and then they like, discomfort, unknown, the fear, the abyss. And then they come pull back in. Feel positive stress on purpose. Find a way to put your back against the wall. If you're working a 9 to 5 right now and you've been wanting to do this whole thing and this has been your dream, likely the reason why you haven't is because your life is too comfortable. Okay? Find a way to get a little bit uncomfortable. I dare you. And then come tell me if it did not either change you and or your wallet along the way. All right. I got a pretty forward message with people on this episode, but anyway, if I pay I'm just trying to use what I was doing and teaching my sister as like an example for that. Okay. Yeah. That's certainly scary. Yeah. But this could have happened. Yep. It could have. Right. But that could happen. Yep. Mm-hmm. But I mean, seriously, what do you want? Right. Be willing to behave differently in order to be a different person and live with those who live differently. Okay? All right? The rest of the masses are clinging desperately to status quo. The rest of humanity's like, please accept me. Right? And that's what they're doing. You got to behave and operate differently to be different. Right? So I'm going to go do things that are unorthodox, but Steven, it could be risky. Yeah, so is sitting on my butt on the couch and waiting for a slow, painful death where I've done nothing in my life and I know I've not done anything to my capacity and I've done nothing of my potential. That is hell on earth, in my opinion, and I will not live that way. I'm asking you to do the same, okay? So think through what it is and get tough with yourself and figure out, Mom, I'm going to go do this. What I have found is that I cannot voluntarily place myself very easily with situations where my back is against the wall. What I have to do is I need to create an environment and a scenario where that is. So I left my job. Okay. So I brought on employees. I brought on people, right? Where it wasn't a risk. We had the cash flow, but then it got tight. What did that do? It made me learn how to get more cash flow, right? Does that make sense? The thing that I talked about this for my goal video for this year. I'm trying to figure out the next thing in my life for this year that is scary. I'm saying legitimately scare the crap out of me scary, okay? Because it will cause me to behave and level up as a human being faster than me just willing it into existence. That never works. I must do it with environment, okay? Anyway, hopefully it's been a helpful episode to you. And you take a moment to sit back and be introspective and be like, you all know, whether you're in the car right now, you're on YouTube, you're listening, I don't care, you're reading this, you all have had in your mind right now something in your life that you've been wanting to do and you know it's there but you haven't done it because you're staying comfy. Okay? Every one of us, we've got something, I know what it is. For me, it's my book. I know how in depth I'm going to dive on it in order to make sure I've got everything set and my bases covered. It's going to be a month-long project. I think I'm going to take all of June to do it. Just take June just for the book, which I'm excited about. But anyway, that's where I am. That's what I'm doing. And hopefully it's a helpful episode to you. Please take stock. And I dare you to write down what you know that thing is you've been wanting to do. And then start thinking through, how can I orchestrate an environment where my back is against the wall voluntarily? Okay, but truly against the wall. There's no let out. And you will become and you will do things different than you've ever experienced in your life. And you look back, like me, right? You look back 3 years ago. What? What's up, son? You bad mama jamma, right? And I'll look at myself and go, holy crap. Look what you got done. Wow, very few people have done that. But I look at myself and I think, why did that work? Oh, because I was willing to feel a little bit of pressure. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And we're asking for more reviews. Thank you so much, first of all, those of you guys who've left reviews. Some kind of cool bonus or thank you I want to drop out in the future. I don't know what it is, but this is like not normal podcast episode material, and I know it's not, and a lot of it's stuff people charge for it, and I just really appreciate those of you taking the time to go to iTunes to leave a review. That'd be very, very helpful. Guys, thanks so much, and we'll see you guys later. Bye. Oh yeah, wasn't that awesome? Hey, just real quick, a few months ago, Russell asked me to write a chapter for a secret project he was doing. And I had to write a chapter for a book, and this was the prompt. This was the letter I got from him. He said, hey Steven, let me ask you a quick question. You suddenly lose all your money, along with your name and your reputation, and only have your marketing know-how left. You have bills piled high and people harassing you for money over the phone. Plus, you have a guaranteed roof over your head, a phone line, an internet connection, and a ClickFunnels account for only 1 month. You no longer have your big guru name, your following, your JV partners. Other than your vast marketing experience, you're an unknown newbie. What would you do from day 1 to day 30 to save yourself? Russell Brunson. Hey, if you want to see my answer and a bunch of other marketers that also had answered that in this amazing book and summit, just go to 30days.com/Steven. Again, you can see the entire summit, you can see the book, you can see what we wrote in there, and each of our detailed plans, just go to 30days.com/Steven. That's 30 as in 30, 30days.com/Steven, STEPHEN. Guys, enjoy.